Today I was recording a video for our YouTube channel, and I've been talking about protecting your energy, and I thought I will go into our Patreon community and talk a bit more deeply about one thing that I've learned on my journey in the last 8 years. So it kind of took me 8 years to really recognize how to stop fighting with the energies I don't want to be influenced by. You know, sometimes we come into places where negative energies lower our energy. Like, you may meet more negative or more depressed people, and it influences you. So in that video I've shared a quote that says, "Ships don't sink because of the water outside of them. They sink because the water gets inside of them." So it's only when we allow these external energies to influence us, and actually we allow them, because we start judging them, because we start comparing them with our ideal picture of how we would like it to be. And the solution is, well, accept it. When you accept it, it doesn't influence you anymore. So what I've learned in the last 8 years of my journey is that if I don't want something to influence me, I need to understand it. I need to accept it and understand it. So it's not even a hack, it's like a very human thing that helped me so much. You know, I had a trouble in my life. Every time I was meeting my parents, I was influenced by their slow energy. So they're living a lifestyle that lacks a bit of purpose, a bit of enthusiasm, a bit of, you know, this higher energy of joy, of passion, of something, you know, that you could say something is there. So every time I was meeting them, I ended up like an empty cup. Like, I had this image in my mind's eye that I will come there and I will influence them, I will bring some high energy. But what happened was just the opposite. I came there and it drained me. So what I've noticed that really changed that was that I actually wanted to meet them better. I wanted to know them better. So I thought I know my parents. Like, you think you know your parents. But when I've started really questioning them about their childhood, like, I've talked with my father so many times and I'm just asking him about his childhood and how was like this, how was for him growing up, how he dealt with this. Like, sometimes when I have certain challenges, I've started asking him how he was dealing with that and things like that. And you know what happened? Our conversations became so meaningful, so empowering. Suddenly it was not exhausting, it was actually uplifting. And what happened? Well, nowadays, when I sit them down, I understand what they've been through. I understand that maybe at some point of their path, they've lost themselves. And it's okay, like, sometimes we lose ourselves, right? But because now I understand their path until now, I don't judge them. I don't try to fix them. I understand them. I have compassion towards them. So when I go to them now, when I visit them, I don't have expectations like I have to uplift them. I have to give something to them. I just need to be there, understand them, and love them for who they are. And this is the most powerful thing that changed everything inside of me. So I've recognized, okay, anyone to whom I allow to influence me negatively, it's only because I don't understand them and I have like an ideal image of how I would like them to be, and because they are not meeting that ideal in my mind, I judge them. And because I judge them, I actually allow them to influence me negatively. I allow their energy to change my energy. When I understand them, they can't change my energy with anything else but wisdom. So we receive wisdom when we understand others. And when we accept them, we don't try to manipulate them. And when we don't try to manipulate them, we can only support them because we give them an ear to listen and a heart to feel. And that is powerful. That is very powerful. So you don't allow the water to come in and sink your ship. You just, well, sail the waters. Sometimes it's a bit more bumpy road, right? Or bumpy sail. But it's the smooth sea never made a skilled sailor, right? So the point is not to fix anyone. This is the lesson. The point is not to fix anyone, to change anyone. No, the point is not to change anyone. The point is even not to force knowledge onto anyone. No, it's not. Like, trees are growing without speaking what you should learn from them. While wise men can go into a forest and learn a lot, right? But they will never scream what you should learn from them. They're just being an example. The point is to be an example. Not to force, not to show up. You don't need to show up so they would see how you're living a healthy life. No. It was another mistake that I wanted to fix others. I wanted to show up like, look what I'm doing so I'm so healthy. Look what I'm doing so I'm in a higher energy. Look what I'm doing so I'm so creative. Look what I'm doing so I'm so productive. No, I was trying all of that, but it didn't work. Because I've learned to understand why it doesn't work. So I was reflecting on my childhood when my parents forced something onto me. I became resentful. I closed myself down because I knew it's not helpful, right? It's not a helpful way. So the best way to teach someone something is to live as an example. And then if they want to learn, it's their free will, right? If they don't want to learn, still love them for who they are. Love them for who they are. But if you find them exhausting or toxic, set boundaries. Changing them is not your responsibility. Fixing them is not your responsibility. Even, for example, I have a younger brother, 10 years younger than me. And sometimes when I'm visiting him, like he's still living with our parents, and he has a messy room, like really, really messy room. Everything all over the place. And there was a time when I wanted to give him an advice, like, hey, be responsible, like take care of this, like be disciplined. You know, you have to have your place in order and things like that. Because I've learned that in my life that it really, you know, it makes me more productive and more at peace with myself. But you know, I met deaf ears, like he was not listening. Why not? Because he was not ready for an advice. He was ready for seeing me, but not for me being smart on him, right? So I've recognized that all we can do is accept people as they are and love them as they are. And maybe this is our human challenge. Because if souls would come together, they would not care what is happening. They would just love each other due to its meeting, like, oh, it's so great to see you. But our human nature, we have judgments, we have expectations, we have comparison, we have all these ideals that we project onto others. Like, we just think that if something works for us, it will work for everyone. But I've noticed it's a big mistake. Like, if I'm being an example, and maybe one day my brother will notice that, he will come to me and ask me for an advice, or maybe he will find a completely different way that will work for him, or maybe he will not find anything and he will live a life the way he has chosen to live it. And it's still his thing. He has different lessons to learn, and I can't manipulate that. And what I've learned in that process is that I am more at peace with myself when I'm meeting them, because I've recognized that my job is not there to be smart on anyone or to give something to anyone. It's just to be there for them, to listen to them, to understand them, to love them, but to stay in my center. And when I notice that it's enough, I set boundary and I live them. And I think this is one of the greatest lessons I've learned in the last 8 years, because now I'm finally, well, I'm grateful for my family. I love my family. And actually anyone with whom in the past I would notice that it was a negative influence. Now I love these people. Everyone. I don't need to have much with certain people. But I still, because of my understanding for them, I'm okay with them. And that is powerful. I feel, people are judging on social media so many different things and cultures and ideas and politics and all of that. If we come to the level of understanding and love, there's no need for fight anymore. Like internal fight, the stress, the need for conflict, the fire for anger, it's all gone, because it turns into something more constructive that becomes a drive for our growth, not for the need to change someone else. You can't change anything outside of you without firstly you being an example of that change. And I'm not forcing what you've changed onto others, but just growing so much that maybe someone will be inspired by your growth, and that's it. So that's something that I wanted to share with you, because I found it very powerful, and I hope some of you here in the community may find it powerful as well. So I'm wishing you all the best. Love your family, love anyone. Love doesn't mean that you give way too much of yourself to them. It means that you accept them, you understand them, but you live your life to the fullest, right? That's it. Much love, my friends.